G'day, punters. We're back with another episode of The Weigh-In. I'm joined by my co-host in Luke Marlowe. He looks like he's enjoying a bit of sunshine up there at Wyong. Are you at Central Coast? You're at the Central Coast.
Yeah. Hey, Blakey. We've been up here for, we've been out of Sydney for 6 weeks now. But now that the restrictions are starting to lift, I think we can head back towards Sydney pretty shortly, and excited to do so. Weird times, but the racing's keeping on going, and that's the main thing.
That's 100% the main thing. What did you think about the racing at Randwick on Saturday? We got a little bit of unexpected rain.
Did we what? Wasn't forecast. So it was a surprise for all of us. But that track deteriorated as the day wore on. I sort of marked it as a pretty hot rail, and certainly advantageous to be in the first half of the field, definitely. So it was a square day for me on the punt. Didn't do too much, just didn't have a great feel for the day once that rain arrived, but enjoyed the racing just the same.
Yeah, 100%. It was a bit of a square day for me also. We'll go through our bets in just a moment. We'll get stuck in. The first race was the highway over 1,000 metres. There was only one 1,000 metre race on the day. Leo was well supported. Nataraja came out of the market on race morning. Leo was $13 on Wednesday into $6.50. A head start was well supported on the day, $5.50 into $4.50. Private agent, not liked by the market. He was first up for a while, $4.20 out to $6. The best backed outside of the main bunch was Satin Ruby, $51 into $19. Best last 600 was a head start, 33-13. 10 of the 12 runners came home in under 34 seconds. So that gives you an idea of how slowly run the race was. Luke, Leo stamped himself as a possible Kosciuszko horse. I think there's only one slot remaining.
Yeah, that's right. So whether he gets in or not, there's a few horses that aren't in yet that I'm surprised aren't, namely Fender, but that's another story. On Leo, Goodwin, very good fresh horse. He's won 3 out of 5 first up now, and he was trained up with 2 good trials. I thought he was well ridden by Hugh Bowman, who's got a fantastic record on the horse, and he was too good. Battleground was unlucky. I think he would have run top 3. He got chopped out in the straight by Private Agent when going for a rails run, and I think Kathy got a bit of time for that interference, but he could be forgiven off that. I think a relatively strong highway overall.
Yeah, strong highway. I've got nothing else to add. I do think Kathy got about 4 or 5 days, so she'll serve a suspension after that race. But we'll move on. The second race was a benchmark 88 over 1,600 metres. There was 3 of those on the day. This one was 3 lengths slower than the George Main one by Verry Elleegant. Kiss the Bride was well supported on the day, 6 into $5. Big Boy Roy hovered around that 350 mark most of the day. Cordia wasn't liked by the market, $4.40 out to $7. Best backed was Kiss the Bride, $14 on Wednesday into $5. A tissue was out early in the week. Best last 600 was new arrangement in 34.21. It's hard to beat a front runner who comes home in the best last 200 metres of the race. Nash did a good job aboard. Kiss the Bride here, Luke.
Yeah, he's riding great. This was one of 4 winners on the day for Nash, and he owned them from the front. Kiss the Bride, assisted by the bias, leading on the fence, and was simply too good. I didn't have a bet in the race. I wish I had a back this horse, because I did black book him out of his Kembla run, where he was hitting the line strongly at his most recent start. Just sort of failed to forecast that he would go to the front here. But the extra 100 metres and Nash going on was all that was required for him to find winning form. I don't want to back anything out of the race. The only horse I could follow is probably the winner going forward. But as I said, he was assisted by the bias, so it's just hard to gauge where he could go next, I guess.
The only horse outside of the winner that I'd like to follow, I think has a win in her, is Charm Star. I thought she was pretty good late. Her late sectionals were pretty good, and she did finish off sort of in the wrong part of the track, and she's going to be better suited getting out to 1.25 miles. So Charm Star for me to follow out of the race, but nothing else to add on top of what you already said. Moving on to the midway, the third race of the day, benchmark 72 over 1,600 meters. They went 2.5 lengths slower than the George Main, won by Verry Elleegant. Canyonero hovered around that $11 mark for most of the day. Akihiro, thought he was great, $6 into $5. Tampering was well supported, 7 into $5.50. Tampering went up $11 on Wednesday, and he was the best back runner in the race. Best last 600 meters was Akihiro and Love Me Quietly in 35.70. He did a good job running on from the back of the field here. Akihiro, Luke.
Yeah, he did, Blake. He was well back. J-Mac rode at a kilo over. I wonder if that made a difference. I suppose you're getting J-Mac, so but look, only beaten 0.6. It was the run of the race, but they crawled up the straight here. No horse broke 12.20 for the last 200 at the end of the mile. So it was sort of a testing 1,600 metres for this class of horse. Canyonero was in the right spot, well ridden by Jason, and Too Good. But I think they're a pretty even bunch. And, I don't think any of these horses are of major interest for me going forward. But you've got to say Richard Litt's done a great job with Canyonero. He's got him absolutely flying.
Yeah, no doubt. He was a bit of a nonny prior to this prep, but he's won a couple of races, at least 2 races this preparation. So he's flying, and I definitely agree. But Akihiro's the one for me to follow out of the race in midway class. As I said in the past, I don't really want to follow midway class outside of midway class. But if he draws a gate next time, he's going to be seriously hard to beat. But I'm sure the market's going to find him. So whether or not we can back him next start, we'll find out with the market. But moving on to the fourth race, benchmark 78 over 1,400 meters. This was a fast race. 3.5 lengths faster than the Bill Ritchie. The track was downgraded for that race, and the Bill Ritchie was running a rain. So whether or not this was a fast race or not, we can. That's a bit contentious. High Supremacy, he hovered around about $8 for most of the day. Taxu was $9 out to $10. Five Kingdom hovered around that $41 mark. Best back runner was Golly, I'm Lucky. I actually took $61 about him on Wednesday. $41 into $15 on the day. Best last 600 meters was High Supremacy, 34.20. We can be forgiving of Super Effort. He pulled up 2 of 5 lame. I thought there was a few good runs in this race, Luke.
Agree, Blake. Winner was good, wasn't he? Great ride from Nash. Absolute ripper. Got all the breaks. Loved the horse's turn of foot, running home in the quickest last 200 of the race. He really sprinted well. He did race on the fence, which was advantageous, but he was very good. And I think he's a horse with some scope. Managed to have something on him, High Supremacy. And I just thought the ride won the race along with the horse's sprint that it had. The others, I thought Golly, I'm Lucky was unlucky. I saw your Facebook post. It might be a candidate for a name change after its last 2 starts. Golly, I'm unlucky. Horse is going well. Suave, I think, is the improver out of the race. Wide with cover the entire, and he was only beaten 2 lengths. So if there was a horse I could take forward out of this, I think it could be Suave, because he did race well despite a pretty poor latest trial before his resumption here, Blake.
Yeah, I thought Suave was pretty good. The other horses that I think that we can sort of follow out of the race outside of the winner, High Supremacy is obviously probably the best horse in the race. Steel Diamond can win a race going back to mare's class. She needed room sooner, as she did last start. Connections wanted to ride Soami with cover. He ended up in front, so he can be forgiven. He was pretty good. He only got beat 1.3 lengths. He just began so well, so Huey ended up in front on him. Golly, I'm Lucky is going to win a race. As you said, unlucky, and he can win a race. Hot Spring Gold, he didn't have much luck from the back of the field. He needed room a lot sooner, and he closed pretty well. So a few horses that I think can win in the near future. Anything else to add there, Luke?
I'm happy with that, mate.
All right, let's move on. First of the feature races of the day, this was the Bill Ritchie. Winner was exempt from ballot in the Epsom. This was the second fastest of the 3 1400s on the day. It was running pretty heavy rain, so they went 3.6 lengths slower than the previous race. The benchmark 78 won by High Supremacy. A Tissue was well supported from Wednesday, $4.80 into $3.50. Looks like Elvis, hovered around $31. The market didn't like Aramayo. He was $8 out to $13 on the day. Best back runner was a Tissue. And the best last 600 meters in the race was Aramayo in 34:37. Can we back any of these horses in the Epsom, mate?
I think we can, definitely. I think it's a very open Epsom. You've got a Tissue and $11 chance now. Private Eyes 11 in the Epsom, Aramayo 13, Harmony Rose 15. I'll start with the winner. She dropped to 50 kilos in the Epsom. I thought she was very good here. Tim Clark put her in the race from the better draw, and she's super tough. She handles all conditions. If we get a wet track on Epsom Day, you know she goes through it. So, look, she's in the right stable with Wallow. She's had a perfect preparation. I think she's going well. Aramayo is flying. He got back with 58 on his back and hit the line in the best last 200 of the race. He'll drop to 51 in the Epsom unless they raise the weights, which is possible, but he'll still carry a light weight and he'll go there third up. He wouldn't want it too wet on the day. And Private Eye is a complete excuse here. 3 wide, no cover, then 4 wide around the turn. And against the bias, he couldn't possibly win the run he had. So he can improve going to an Epsom. And Harmony Rose didn't have much luck. So I've talked about 4 horses there. Is that a drag on the race overall? Maybe they're too evenly matched, or I'm not too sure. But I think the George Main, which we'll touch on later, is probably the better lead up for the Epsom. But you couldn't give these horses none, or not consider them strongly in a race like the Epsom. But Private Eye and Aramayo are the 2 who get the biggest weight drops going to that race.
Yeah, I think Aramayo is going to be a great chance if he goes to the Epsom and draws a gate. He's going to be third up at a mile, gets a good track. I thought the ride by Tim Clark on a Tissue was really good. Gave her a positive, gave her a boot out of the barrier and found a spot, and she was really strong on the line. Did you notice the run of Numerian? I thought he was pretty good having his first run in Australia. He was good through the line.
He was just another horse that raced on the rail. I think it was worth a couple of lengths. So although he went well, I wasn't giving him as big a tick like horses such as Aramayo and Private Eye, which covered extra ground. I think the fact he fenced up, he was slightly flattered in his performance, but he did go well. Yeah,
fair enough. I'll be interested to see how he goes at his second Australian run. But we'll move on to the 3-year-old fillies in the T-Rose Stakes over 1,400 metres. The track was downgraded here to a soft 6. They went 6 lengths slower than the 78 won by High Supremacy. 4 moves ahead was $4.50 out to $4.80. Mallory was $5.50 into $4.80. Swift Witness, $16 to $11. The protest here, Luke, was third versus second, and it was upheld.
Yeah, and deservedly so, I think, too. As I just send a message reply there, BJ.
That's okay.
Yeah, look, I think they're a very even bunch of fillies, aren't they?
They are, 100%. Nothing between them.
No, there's not. The protest, Mallory definitely should have run second, so they upheld that. I want to be forgiving of some horses here out wide on the track. She's all classes running out of chances, but she was sort of in the wrong part in the straight. Latino Blend, I thought, went okay. Von Trapp's run on well, but did race on the rail. So, yeah, I'm really confused going towards the Flight Stakes. The winner's a beauty, 4 moves ahead. So genuine. Mallory's flying. Swift Witness is honest, but, normally this time of the Princess Series, I'm convinced the horse I want to back in a flight. This year, I've got no idea.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Even bunch of fillies. I am with Von Trapp in the flight. I think she's going to be hard to beat. I think she just got way too far back from that barrier 12, that wide barrier, and she found the line really well. She had the best last 600 metres of the race, and she's new blood, and she's sort of run really well in her first go against these what you would call top-notch fillies, but they are an even bunch, as you said. We can be forgiving of Robodira. She pulled up 1 of 5 lame, and the horse that I as I said, want to follow is Von Trapp. She's $21 in that Flight Stakes. Anything else to add there, Luke?
I'm happy with that, Blakey.
All right, let's move on to the feature of the day. The George Main Stakes over 1,600 metres. The track was downgraded to a soft 7. They went 2.5 lengths faster than the midway, won by Kenyan Hero. Very Elegant was really heavily supported once the rain started to fall. $2 into $1.75. Riodini, $15 into $13. Think it over. 480. He was really good. 3 deep with no cover. Best back runner from Wednesday was Think It Over. He was $6 into $4.80. The market didn't really change outside of Verry Elleegant being really well supported late in betting. Best last 600 meters was Verry Elleegant in 34.84. We can be forgiving of Colding, who pulled up with a cardiac arrhythmia.
Yeah, I had concerns for Colding. He looked like something had gone wrong. So he'll make a full recovery from that, which is the main thing. Winner's just a star. Just so genuine, so honest, so tough. She looked in a bit of trouble, but she got herself out of it, as those good horses can do. I mean, Riodini's going to take some beating in an Epsom off this run. He drops to 51, I think. Let me see.
He's going to have no weight on his back. He's definitely going to be hard to beat. It's always good coming back from weight for age to handicap conditions. Whether or not he's going to be able to make his own luck on the speed in such a big field, it's not going to be the same setup. But obviously, he's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find what weight he's got.
Another one we can sort of follow
51.
out of that race. I reckon Hungry Heart was good considering she didn't get track conditions to suit.
Yeah, her wheels were spinning a bit, weren't they? On that soft track by this point, on a deteriorating surface. She's flying going towards an Epsom. So she and Riodini will both drop significantly in weight. Riodini gets 51 in the Epsom. I thought the best run in the race outside of, naturally the winner, but Think It Over was enormous. He was 3 wide punching the breeze the whole way against the bias. I thought he was one of the runs of the day. I think he goes to the Hill Stakes next.
It's worth $1 million now, the Hill Stakes. They're going to get a good race.
Yeah. I don't know if Verry Elleegant's going there or where she's going, but he'll shake the life out of that race. Think It Over if he draws a barrier.
Yeah, no doubt. He's a genuine weight for age horse these days, and he's going to win more races. But yeah, that Hill Stakes is going to be a rip snorter. I reckon Verry Elleegant might stay in Sydney for it because it's just worth so much money. And if she goes to Melbourne, she could possibly run into Zaki. I think what's that going to be? The Underwood Stakes. That would be the race that she'd be going to Melbourne for. But I'd think that she'll stay in Sydney and run in that Hill Stakes, and it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Zaki and Verry Elleegant didn't meet until the Cox played. That'd be exciting.
At least we'll have something to talk about until then. But we'll move on to what you would say is the other feature of the day, the Group 2 shorts over 1,100 metres. This was an outstanding race. They went 5 lengths faster than the 88 won by Triple Ace. Eduardo was really well supported on the day, $7.50 into $5.50. Nature Strip also well supported when the rain came, $2.35 into $2.10. Gytrash, he was very good, no luck, $11 into $9.50. Mars Crusader was slow to recover. We can be forgiving of Lost and Running, who pulled up 1 out of 5 lane. Best last 600 metres was Gytrash and Mars Crusader in 34.51. What did you make of these Everest hopefuls, Luke?
Yeah, great race. Winner's a very genuine and honest sprinter. He's a top horse, Eduardo. He knocked off Nature Strip. Nature Strip just running that really big figure and the huge performance first up. I think he's gone great here. He can't. I think he had to regress a little bit second up with the Everest being his peak run in mind. So I think this was the defeat he had to have heading towards an Everest, and this is his best chance to win one, I feel, Nature Strip. Chris has got him flying. Gytrash was unlucky. Arguably should have won. You can see on the head-on, Jason was looking for a rails run initially when Nature Strip shifted off the fence. And then there was a run between Eduardo and Nature Strip, and that closed as well. So he was unlucky, but he's come back well. Rothfire was very good off the long break. He's going to improve. Mars Crusader was good against bias and Lost and Running. I did my cash on, but you mentioned the excuse there being lame. So not necessarily giving up on him improving, but he would need to off the back of that, but he did have an excuse.
Yeah, no doubt. It's very difficult to come off, to bounce off that run into an Everest and which is going to be a high pressure race again. But he's the sort of horse that can do it. I was disappointed in myself because Eduardo's been one in mine in the past.
Yeah.
I had something on Masked Crusader. He missed the start and it was all over. But as you said, Rothfire, I thought he was huge. I thought he was really good. 357 days between running into a race like that, and to run as well as he did, he's going to acquit himself really well in Everest. He's probably the horse that has the most improvement going into that race. Who's the horse that who are you going to back in the Everest? Do you have any idea yet?
The short answer is no, but a lot will depend on the barrier draw on the day, I'd say. But it's I mean, it's the cream of the crop. They all come together. I think we saw the Everest winner in this race. There you go. I think Classic Legend, I'm just not convinced. I'm just not convinced where he's at, the big grey. So if that helps, you, I think we saw the winner of the Everest in this race, the Shills.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Everest. I can't wait to see the big grey back, but we'll have to wait a few weeks for that. But we'll move on to the Kingston Town Stakes, race 9, Group 3 over 2,000 metres. She's ideal. She was very good, very well ridden by Jason Collett. $3.50 into $2.80 on the day. Montefilia, $4.50 out to $5. On Taunt, $31 into $26. Best back roughie was Zarek, $51 into $23. Sneaky run here, Luke. Best last 600 metres was Attorney in 34.72.
Yeah, I saw him poking through there late in that race. It was a good run by Attorney. Sort of, again, he was closest to the rail. I keep harping on about it, but I think it was the place to be. Winner was just, I mean, once the track was playing how it was, she was nearly a good thing. She's ideal. It's easy to say now, but just everything went to plan, and she had the weight allowance on a few horses here, and she was too good. Montefilia is absolutely flying, going towards the Metrop, and she was very good. You mentioned the run of Attorney. I think going towards a Metropolitan, Montefilia is going to be mighty hard to toss. Gee, she's going well.
Yeah, she's flying. She was very good coming down the worst part of the track. I had something on Attorney at 100-1, so I was obviously watching him. I thought he was very good, and I think he's going to peak on Metropolitan Day. So interested to see what price they go up about him once the barriers come out. He's currently about $21. I think I took 50s before the Kingston Town. So hopefully he can run a race in a Metropolitan before going on to a race like the Caulfield Cup. She's Ideal. I think we tipped the punters into She's Ideal previously in a Caulfield Cup. We were saying take $51, so she's into $15. So if you took a bit of that 51s, you'd be happy with yourself. Anything else to add?
No, mate. Happy to move on to the last, where I did my money.
You did your money. I did my money in the last as well. I was a little bit stiff. I thought, well, we'll talk about it in a sec. But the last race was Benchmark 88 over 1,100 metres. 5 lengths slower than the shorts, won by Eduardo. Triple Ace, well backed on the day, $27 into $15. I backed Blondeau personally. Took good odds about him, $14 into $8.50. Gravina, $9.50 into $5.50. Best back runners were Gravina and Equation from Wednesday, $6.50 into $3.70. Best last 600 metres was clearly Blondeau in 34.03. What did you have a bet on in the last, Luke?
I backed Equation early, and then I knew I was in trouble the way the track was playing. So I backed Blondeau and Gravina as small winners as well. So they've run second and third. So
you played that well.
Played it great. Blondeau, I'm surprised he didn't go past late, but look, he's gone well. The winner was just too tough. Triple A straight up outside the lead, which was not disadvantageous on the day. We saw a few horses race outside the lead and win, including Eduardo. So although I think the track was, the fence was hot, that position right up there was a good one. I think if Jace had his time again on Gravina, he would have stayed on the rail. He probably got sick of getting chopped out every time he rode for luck on the day. And he just thought, bugger it, I'm going to come out here. But Gravina, if he did ride for luck and stay on the fence. I think I mean, that's racing, isn't it? And then the other horse I was on, Equation, he was just in a hopeless position. He was, after 200 metres, he had absolutely none. But I thought he still closed off quite well. His late figures were okay. You know, as good as anything in the race, just slightly slower. I think he'll appreciate more ground and a slightly firmer surface. And I think he'll improve sharply second up. So I won't be dropping off Equation. I think he's a horse that has group quality, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, James said he's looking for further, and he did win that Canberra Guineas prior to a spell. I thought Blondeau was, I did think he was going to go past at the furlong, but he does have a very short, sharp sprint, and I reckon he was just a touch slow away.
Yeah.
He got back a couple of pairs further back than expected, and it probably cost him the race. And I do agree with Gravina. He probably takes that run off Blondeau if he sort of heads back to the inside rather than coming to the worst part of the track on the outside. I thought Exoboom was a little bit of a sneaky run, getting home late. I know he poked up sort of the fence, but he's a horse that's going to get better over further, and he's a horse that I want to follow out of the race. So Blondeau, Gravina, and Exoboom for me out of that race. Anything else to add in the last?
Nothing other than follow Equation, guys. I think it's a good horse. This you got to forgive that run. Hadn't trialled, got too far back. I still think he went well, and I'll be buttering up again next start if he lands in the right race.
Or you might get a better price as well. Horse to follow out of the meeting.
Yeah, Equation, and I think I'm interested in Aramayo and the Epsom if he draws a barrier.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say Aramayo, so 100%. I think he was one of the better runs of the day, and I think Chris is gonna peak him on the day. So he's sort of, if he draws a gate in the Epsom, he's the horse that I want to be with. But we'll worry about that in a couple of weeks. Thanks for coming on the show, Luke. Enjoy Wyong today. Hopefully you can find a couple of winners for the punters. Yeah,
it looks a very tough meeting. Only small fields. I don't think I'll be getting involved from a betting perspective, but have a great week, mate, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, mate. Good luck today.
See you guys.